Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Dirt Road Bigfoot. We got I can't say it. I got to. It's a wonderful show tonight, guys. We happen to have Flatrock on tonight, and I happen to have a host with me tonight that I'm just all excited about. I mean, I've looked forward to this for quite a while this week, I'm going to tell you. But, anyways, guys, before we get started with the show, I want to tell you a little bit. I'm going to scroll it up right now. Uh, Me, Dirt Road Bigfoot, and Old Bear's Den of Bigfoot is having a camp out May 21st through May 24th. It's going to be held at Salt Fork, Ohio, at the group campground. Okay, it is open to the public. It is $5 per night per person. Thursday night is an eat out or out night. In other words, we don't cook that night. If you want to stay at the campground and cook you something, that's up to you. But me and Old Bear, we usually head out to a restaurant and go get us something to eat without having to worry about cooking up and cleaning up and all that kind of stuff. Come Friday morning, we will have breakfast. Me and Old Bear usually try to take care of that for everybody, and no worries there. But dinner for Friday night and Saturday night, uh, we're going to let the group decide what we want to eat, and anybody that wants to participate into the group cookout is asked to, help out with the cost basically, and we'll be glad to cook it up, no problem. We don't mind doing that at all. But just to help out with the cost, and we've done that before, where we just buy a bunch of stuff and end up taking some stuff home, and or we didn't do this, do that, and just wasted money is all we done. So that's the reason we're going to do it that this way this time. But if you do want to eat with a group, we're just asking for a little help. We'll decide what we want, and we'll send some folks to Walmart, which ain't too far from the road. I mean, little ways, but not too bad. And we'll pick it up and have it fresh that night. Sounds like a whole lot better than trying to put it in coolers and stuff. But anyways, that's the camp out coming up. And if you want to come, I will suggest, just kind of give us a heads up if you don't mind. Uh, you can email me at dirtroadbigfoot@gmail.com, icebox. My real name, I really don't care. Just give us an email. Let us know that you're coming or want to come, and that'll be great. That helps us with the numbers of knowing what we need to do. And if you rather, you can know, or you can email Old Bear's Den at 20 at gmail.com, and that's his email. So guys, if you don't mind, if you're coming, just let us know. That's all we're asking. But anyways, just had to announce that we ain't been on in a while, so I'll leave that running for just a little bit, and we'll get on to what I'm really here for, what I'm looking forward to. All right, let me first. Uh, Why do? Yeah, I know what you mean, Stephen. By the way, good evening to you, Stephen. Good evening to you, Old Bear. Uh, let's see here, Mr. Athens. I'm glad to see you back in here, buddy. And Dog 073, how you doing, bud? I'm glad to see you back in here, buddy. And I can't for well, we might not have Daryl Joe with us any longer. Bless his heart. Blue eyed, I hope you let him live. That's all I can say. But yeah, we good evening to you, Miss Pat. Glad you're here. Joe, behave yourself. You know. All right. Anyways, without any further ado, let me get the host on here. Guys, let me do his little intro here first. I don't have his intro per se. But this gentleman is Johnny Two Bears. Johnny Two Bears run his own particular channel. It is called the Sasquatch Encounter Brigade. It is a great channel. It is a great channel. He is also partnered up with this gentleman here, BFFFG, Bigfoot Florida guy. That is Richard Farabee, one of my close personal friends, buddies, brother, whatever you want to call him. That's what he means to me. And they are both running a channel called Sasquatch Unredacted, in which both of them are host and co-host. And I'm really right proud that Johnny come on here to do this with me tonight. But I wanted to basically promote their channels before we got started really good. Okay, guys? All right, let me hide that. All right, here we go. There he is. Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
Good man, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm just tore up tonight. I don't even know if I can talk tonight. I'm glad y'all are here.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, I was happy to get the invite, man.
Oh, that tickled me to death when I seen it. What do I need to do? I said, "No, all right, be
Yeah,
great."
I like talking to Flatrock too, because him and I have so much in common. So anytime I get a chance, we actually had him on our podcast, and I wasn't able to make that one. I completely missed it. So now it kind of makes up for it. So
Yes, sir. Hey, that's good to know. Good to know. Good to hear. I am very excited. Hey, buddy, I know you. I've seen you. I just ain't seen you in a while, buddy. I'm glad you're back tonight. All right. So we can't leave Flat Rock hanging, man. Something might get him and not
now
never bring him back.
bring him on.
All right, here we go. The man of the hour himself, Flat Rock.
Hey guys,
What's
What's
up,
going on,
bud?
buddy?
same old as usual.
Uh-huh. All right, Flat Rock. There
Yep.
is a particular reason that we're doing this show tonight, and
Mhm.
we're not going to waste no time because I know people want to hear this. Uh, me and you had talked, and I was telling Johnny about this before we come on, and we was talking about your experiences in the
Mhm.
beginning and how that you want to help people, families or whatever that may be going through the same thing that you or Johnny or some other folks have been through. And, just tell us what happened and what all was in your mind, that kind of stuff. And the last words you said to me was, "Why this is why I do this." And that's why I named the show tonight, "Why I Do This." It's not about me. It's about people like you, Johnny, and a couple others that we're going to try to be getting later on during the week. So, how do you want to start with that, Flat Rock?
I started off for just the reason I started recording. Uh, I started recording because Mr. Bob, who lived up front at the time, seen something walk across the yard. Okay, we thought it was a person. I mean, we was already having troubles earlier, but this is actual seeing something going across the yard. Well, we went after it with guns because we're way out here. Nobody should be crossing in the middle of our yard. But we never found him. We heard of something moving in the woods. Told him to come out. It wouldn't never come out. And once I told him to head out to the road, Bob shot a bullet off in the air. Well, ever since then, everything started escalating on up. To where it ended up where we're gonna be here tonight. But that was the main reason I started recording. It's because I thought it was people in the yard. Stealing stuff off my mom's back porch.
Mm-hmm. Now, you told me that you moved up here from Florida. Is that right?
Yep, right after
And
Hurricane Michael. Yeah.
you bought some property up here. Can you kind of guide us from there? What happened? Because if I remember right, you didn't believe in Bigfoot.
No, I never have. Well, after Hurricane Michael, I moved up here. We owned this property since late 2014, early 2015, when my mom first moved up here. Um, she was having something bang on her trailer and tapping on her window, and I was on the phone with her while that was happening, and she was having me listen to it, and it was happening. I told her to peek out, and she wouldn't. But it eventually stopped. She gathered up her dogs, run back to Panama City where I was, and where I was dealing with cancer. So eventually she came right back, and things, nothing happened for a little while. My brother moved up here with her, and then sometime during the year, bang, bang, bang again on my brother's trailer. I come up here sometime during hunting season and stayed in my mom's trailer, sitting there sound asleep, waiting for right before daylight for my brother to come over and to go hunting with me. Next thing you know, boom, boom, boom. It's the first time I heard the banging, being there. Went to the door and nobody's there. I figured it was my brother waking me up. And I turned around, looked at the clock. only about 3:30 at the time, that banging happened, but nothing was outside. So I finally heard the banging, and it's people doing this, trying to run us out of here, because we're the first people out here on this property. Used to be prime hunting property, and that was the reason I was thinking people, But anyway, I eventually moved up here. My brother said he had a couple of things happen before I moved up here. I blowed it off as bear. But I got up here, moved into a RV or a fifth wheel, whichever one you want to call it. And you hear all these little things, the howling, which you blow off as coyotes. You hear tree knocks, which could be, say, tree popping. When the wind blows, you'll hear that tree popping. I mean, anything that we heard, we just blowed it off. It's something else. Never Bigfoot in there, nothing. And so eventually, that July 4th weekend come. Well, let me back up a little. Before that, when we'd come back in from going to a grocery store or a restaurant to eat, and we'd pull back in at nighttime, you'd hear walking away from us. Okay, just literally walking away from us. I eventually had to send my wife over to our daughter's house. It was mutual. She had seen some eyes in the woods that scared her pretty bad, and that was bad enough to make her, want to go on over there, and because it seemed like it was dangerous, thinking people's in the just coming through our yard, all that kind of. So that July 4th come, I told you a story about that. Something walked through the yard. Bob called me. He ended up shooting a bullet off in there that night. That time I thought was a bunch of people come out of the woods, got in behind my mom's new trailer over there, and started raising all kind of hell back there. Screaming, yelling, banging. You could actually hear boxes ripping. And they've never come around that trailer to where I could see them. Because it's between either right before midnight or right after midnight when it come in and done all that. And it scared the living shit out of us, I mean, they were loud. And so, we done our thing that morning, got somebody over here and, made a little report about it. And the days went on. The next thing was in August, the main thing, I mean, there was still other things happening, but the main thing, I come out on the back porch, smoke a cigarette, and I'm listening to Mr. Bobby over there working on the cook shack. And I look over to my left, and there's something big and black standing right there behind the bushes. And he's standing above these bushes now. And I'm just seeing black, it's just black. I can't tell arms or anything. It's just, just black. And it started, turning just real slow. I mean, extremely slow, started turning. I'm just locked on it. And it finally looked at me. We locked eyes. And all I could do was drop my head down, to, in other words, total fear. Because I know what my brother had said he seen, which I blew off. I looked at it, dropped my head, and all I could say was, oh, shit, and trying to get back and out because there's nothing between me and it. There was no fence, no nothing. It's just a straight shot straight to me. So I finally got in the house. I yelled for my brother and my mom, which was also in there, and, called them to the window. But by the time they got there, it done took off back in the woods. before that, let me back up again. After they come out that night on the 4th into the 5th, the next night I put out the recorder. You got that audio, that 10-hour audio.
I do.
And again, even what you hear on there, you hear tree knocks, you hear chest thumping, you hear talking, you hear something getting into the grill, something's up on that porch, you know. So, and still, before I seen that first one, my belief that was still a person coming up on that porch stealing stuff, but we never could catch him back there. You know, we knew he was coming up, but we never could, catch him. And then, over to August, where I seen my first one. After that, I just kept recording, had my camera out, and I was filming everywhere I could. I started moving my camera in different places almost nightly, because I'd see eye shine come up. You'll see a light, and it looks like a flashlight, to be honest with you, and then it closes and move on away. So it just made me think, I wonder if these things are coming up, looking for my camera and moving off. And when I started moving my camera around, they kept coming looking for it, and that's how I was catching them, because they kept coming looking for my camera. And so I caught the pictures I did and the actual videos that I did that I caught. They just didn't know where I was going to have that camera. But I just kept doing audio, though. I just kept doing it, still doing it today. And, when we get to the to that, you'll see how it escalated from just regular the tree knocks and the howls, which we blowed off. You'll hear rocks being thrown at the house. You'll hear how they went after our dogs, actually killed one of them. You'll hear how they started, once they got the dogs out, the loose dogs, not the ones in the pens, but the loose dogs. Once they got them out of the way, they started getting closer to our homes, coming around our house. And then it just kept escalating on up. That's basically the way it went. I mean, it shows on a lot of Johnny's videos exactly what they were doing, but they did it in a little meaner way. But, they've come up on Johnny's porch, just like they have ours. They've thrown rocks, just like they have ours. They've growled at him, just like they did ours. He's caught some really good audio, but he's able to work with them out there. I'm not in. I ain't got this right here to do what they're doing, so I let others do it, like Miss Pat and Joe, Bud and Angie, and a lot of other folks come out here, and I just learn from them. What to do.
Well, that's all. Anything I've done has all just been guesswork. I basically
the same thing here, Johnny. Same thing.
I let them lead. I made a decision very early on that finally the first night I kind of had not face to face because I couldn't see it, but very close to face to face. The first time he growled at me. And I realized right then and right there was nothing I was going to be able to do, that there was no reason to be aggressive. And I decided right then and there that if I was going to, learn anything about these things, that I was going to have to quit chasing them.
Yeah.
Because I was running around armed too. I was running around doing nightly patrols with a gun, because just like you, I thought it was humans.
We did that too with the shoulder and the rifle. We did that too every night. We shouldered that rifle. No matter when we went out, that rifle was on that shoulder.
But I never shot at him. Right, my neighbor did. My neighbor, he shot into the ground, but I wasn't involved in that. That may just be the main difference between you and me is you
Mm-hmm.
just being there when he shot,
Mm-hmm.
for all we know.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. But it seems like, I mean, I started ignoring them. I took all my cameras down, all the trail cameras and all that down. Stopped putting a camera out the window. And I just focused on recording. And that's basically all I'm doing now. And I ignore them, totally ignore them, except when the researchers come over here. I'll let them do their things. Sometimes the researchers piss them off, like they did back in September, October. They kind of pissed one off, and pushed a big
What did
old
they?
tree down. Pushed a big old tree down right here in front of my house, well, in the back of my house here. And if he'd have
Mm-hmm.
pushed it my way, it'd have hit my house. That's how close this tree was. But they had put out some infrared cameras all the way around the house, right up around this way, And within 5 minutes after setting that camera down, that infrared camera, the one that was facing where that tree come from, within a few minutes, here comes that tree. Pop, 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 crack, and down it come. I mean, it was one of them big old pine trees. Joe and Pat was here when it happened, and there was a couple of people who jumped up out of their seats when that happened. I mean, that was close, close, close.
So they don't like the cameras.
No, they don't like the cameras. No, nope, not them infrared. I ain't put out a camera since 21, 20,
Yeah.
22, since 22. And they come and put out those damn infrared cameras everywhere. And it happened. That tree come down. I mean, there was two good imprints there right beside that tree. And they were foot size. Of course, you can't really say 100% it was feet because, it's in all that, pine straw, leaves, and all that stuff down there. But whatever it was that moved that tree, it was, pushed in to where you couldn't, we couldn't do that. We tried, we couldn't do it, could not do it, but it was
Have
there.
they ever left you anything?
No, I don't
No.
get.
So,
Well, I tell you what, I can't tell you if it was. I mean, I'm just go. I had some people over here, Bud, Angie, Pat, Joe, Jody, and possibly somebody else. I don't remember. But we're sitting at the campfire, and my dog alerts me when these critters come around. And my dog, he took off toward the fence, and he was barking some. So we walked back there, and he came back with a big chunk of meat. It was just like a strap of meat, about like that right there. Had hair all down it, fresh, bloody, and it looks like something had grabbed a hold of the back of something, yanked that hide of meat off a live animal, and just laid it there right back here where my bucket is. I used to keep corn in there when I'd feed the deer. But that's the only thing I could think of. I mean, some people say it was a gift. I don't think it was, but you never know.
well, I don't know. It's kind of
It's crazy, but it's all we got it all
if
on.
it if it was left near the bucket where you had corn, had they been taking the corn?
I don't know if they was doing eating the corn. I know the deer were. All I know is that's the area they come up to, right back there against that fence line. So I let me get out of my mouth. I was feeding Boo raw meat at the time, red meat, and this roast started smelling tainty, and I throwed it over the fence. and that was the only thing I ever throwed over there. There was like a little butter bucket, that had like bloody napkins that was in it, and probably left that smell of blood out there, and that could have been it. I don't know, but it could have. The roast wasn't there. This hide of meat, it definitely wasn't roast. It was, fresh raw meat with hair all over it. I can't tell you if it was deer, rabbit. All I know, it was a strap of meat like that right there, bloody red. Had ligaments and everything in there. You can still see everything there.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog brought it back to you?
Yeah, yeah. We walked up to the fence, all four of us, and five of us, and Boo come out with that piece of meat in his mouth, and I was wondering what that was, and I got it from Boo, and it was a raw piece of meat. I'm just glad, Bud, Angie, Pat, and Joe got that sucker on film, so we can always go back and see exactly what kind of meat that come from. Yeah.
So they obviously they leave that particular dog alone.
He's a house dog now. They nailed him with a rock back before I knew it was them. That's back when I was still believing it was people. A big old rock. I got that rock. Hold on. Where did he put it? Yeah, somebody done grabbed my rock. Anyway, that rock's about like this right here. Torpedoish looking rock. Hit him in the back leg, and from then on, he become a house dog.
Good God,
And
man.
I guess it wasn't no more than a few weeks after they hit him with a rock. Boo and my brother's dog went right over here just to go use the bathroom real quick, and they went to the edge of the woods and went in, but they never come back out. I mean, they have always come back out, from right there at the edge of the wood line, but they never came back. So time passed, and we went looking for them, yelling out their name and all, and we just could not find them. We was going down this logging trail that goes right through my yard here, into the lease. We went down it and got around this curve, and we're still yelling out their name in this what we call a high grass area. We got to it, yelled out their name, and we seen Boo stick his head up out of that high grass and just drop right back down. And we finally got to him, and once we got to him, then he come back up, and he wagging his tail. But why he was like that, it kind of makes you figure that maybe something was around him, why he wouldn't come back up out of that grass. But anyway, we got him back home and went looking for my brother's dog that should have been right there with him. We just never could find him. Just never could find him. That dog ain't never left this little area, but he was gone. We never found him. He was gone.
Hmm.
So what happened in the beginning of all this? You said something about there were several dogs that were killed.
There was back in the woods. I got an audio there on that thing. You'll hear what they do to them. They do kill dogs out there. They kill coyotes as well. I can't tell you if that's a coyote or a regular dog, but you'll have to make that opinion on your own. Which kind of canine it is, but it kills it. You'll hear how it kills it.
Would you care? Now, this is you can, or if you don't want to, can you tell your experiences when you was in that RV, or do you want to leave that alone?
You talk about up under the couch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, now you got to tell it. Come on now.
Well, I didn't know if he wanted to mention that.
Okay,
It's a really good story.
in the video, you'll see the RV or the fifth wheel that I'm in. Okay, you'll see the
Okay.
side that's got that opening to it. Anyway, I'm laying down, asleep, and I don't know if the first one was a dream or not, but to set it up behind the couch, it's a pop out right there, and behind that couch is an opening. Okay, it's about 3-4 foot long, about yay high, right? And just open it up like that right there. And looking through it, you can see up under the couch and all that stuff. Well, anyway, I thought I'm dreaming, and I feel the bottom of the couch come up and ease back down. I wake up as it's coming down, but I just blow it off because I think it's a dream. Okay, not knowing about these critters yet, neither. Another night came. Um, I know I wasn't asleep. My Great Dane's down there by my feet, and I feel that couch moving up, and I'm awake. But I feel that couch moving up and easing back down. Not knowing, I ain't knowing about this behind the couch yet. I don't know about that door yet. I found out about that door, a day or two later, and I knew then I wasn't dreaming. That couch moving up and easing back down. Something was reaching through there, easing that couch up, and to explain it. It's like somebody up under your bed, pushing up, and you can feel it on your back, and then easing back down. That's exactly what it felt like.
Good God, man.
Did you see a hand come through at one time?
No.
Okay. I thought you was just feeling the hand.
Just feeling the hand. Because this is behind the couch. I'm laying on the couch. This is behind the couch. Reaching up under the couch and lifting up and easing back down.
Yeah, you froze up. You got there. You're back.
Okay.
No problem. And the reason why that story, I get so tickled about it, is one, you didn't know what it was.
Mm-mm.
Two, let's see, it was the camp out in August up there at Salt Fork. Me and my wife were in bed, and something was pushing on the wall of the camper, and it wasn't a shove or anything like that. It's just like you said, it was gently pushing it in, and it might push it in, what felt like 2 inches, is what it felt like, but it wasn't nothing making racket. Wasn't, you don't hear bending or anything like that, but it woke me up, and I turn over and I see my 2 dogs staring out the side window, and I see my wife. She's done raised up out of the bed sideways, and she's looking at the window. And I kind of got a little bit tickled about it. I'm gonna just be honest with you. And so I kind of laid back down, and you could feel it when it released. It was just ever so gently. I mean, it wasn't real quick or anything like that. It was just like pushed in, held it for a second or two, and then just released.
Yeah.
And it done it, and it done it twice. And I'm one of those. If you're not creating how can I say it? You're not being blood. How do you say belligerent? I'm not gonna worry with it. I'm in bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, see, I try to keep those kind of stories, just to look friends that come over, because I ain't got nothing to back it up, but
neither do I.
And that's the reason I don't usually talk about it, because if I can't back it up, I just don't talk about it.
But a lot of things that Bigfoot does or these creatures do, we can't back up. I mean, a lot of it we can.
A lot of it.
Yeah. So, but I think it's worth noting and telling these stories is because somebody else may have something that similar happens. That's like when we told Bud and Angie about this, and I don't know if Angie thought we was kidding around or what, but there was another couple up on the far end of the campground come to eat dinner with us, and something had pushed on their van. They had one of them van types, and something pushed in the walls of their van. And Angie's mouth, you could just see it just drop because
Yeah.
now she okay. All of a sudden, this is real to her, you know. But I think
Right.
people need to hear these kind of stories because if that's happening, you might want to try to consider what's going on. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Because Miss Pat and Joe, they've actually had their trailer pushed on over here.
Mhm.
When Bud and Angie was in their truck, they stayed in the back of their truck. That's before they got that little camper. And Bud had heard something coming toward the truck, and it whooped at him at the side of the truck. It spooked Bud enough to pull out his 12 gauge. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it got pretty close to him on that when he was in the back of that truck. And I don't quite know the full story of what happened with Miss Jody. I know Pat does. Miss Pat does. Something about it coming up to her right there at her window while she was in there asleep. Uh,
Mm.
got it on recording or something where it come up to her car door, and you could actually hear it breathing at the car door.
Huh.
I believe that's the story of it. I ain't 100% sure, but I know it happened. If Miss Pat said it happened, I know it happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Miss Pat said, yeah.
Yeah,
She's like you. It's gold to me.
yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna lead you back to when you finally seen one of these. If I remember correctly, it was just a shadow in the woods. Uh, did you then
It
believe?
wasn't a shadow. It was full fledged. It was just solid black. You know, it's like
Yeah.
blacker than black. You know.
Yeah. So when you seen this, did you then believe in Bigfoot?
Oh, most
Or did you
definitely.
suspect?
Well, it made it. You know, I teased my brother when my brother. I'll tell a story. My brother went in the woods just before I moved up here, but I was up here, me and my son, and he went off in the woods to go look at the river, and he got turned around back there. He called us up because it was starting to get late, and said he's lost in the woods. Could we drive up that road and try to find beep him out? So me and my son drove my car as far as we could back in there, and we just beeping the horn, beeping the horn. All he had for a light was a cell phone, with the light on the cell
Mhm.
phone. That's all we had. But it started getting dark on him, and he was getting spooked. And in the woods, even though it was not quite dark where we was, in them woods, it's dark,
Yeah.
dark. You
Yeah.
know?
Been there.
So he's walking through the woods trying to come to where we're beeping the horn, and he said he walked up on something that was real big, and he tells me he got about 2 or 3 foot from it, and it scared him, and he backed out, and he finally got to us. That's when he told me he told all of us that, and he said finally, I think I seen a Bigfoot, and of course we laughed at him. We shouldn't have, but we did. We laughed at him, because how some people can get that fear in them when they're
Mhm.
lost and they're in the woods, solid dark and nighttime dark, or you can't even hardly see your hand in front of your face. That's how dark it gets back in there. But we giggled at him, and I teased him a little bit. I even bought him a little T-shirt because Evergreen, Alabama, which ain't far from here, made themselves the Bigfoot capital of Alabama. Okay,
Mhm.
I thought that was just a funny joke or tourism stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And I went and bought him a shirt just to tease him, Evergreen, Bigfoot capital of Alabama. And he knew I was teasing with him. But anyway, I went back to Panama City, and dealing with, what I was going through. And he called me up one day and says, Kenny, listen to this. And he stuck the phone outside. And you could hear this roaring going on, screaming. And he said, you hear that yelling? I said, yeah, Bobby, it's bear. I knew it didn't sound like a bear, but I said bear. And that's all I knew that went on here at the property, other than the banging and some other little things that we just blow off, and that's basically the way it went. That's the only thing I had thoughts of with Bigfoot was just my brother's two occasions. I didn't believe the banging was Bigfoot. I just thought that was people. But my brother sitting there saying Bigfoot, and I stuck a foot in my mouth. I proudly wear it.
Yeah.
Proudly wear it.
I did that before.
Yeah, I proudly wear that foot. And I mean, we still talk about it today. I'm trying to get him to tell a story, because he's got a really good story about what happened. What I just tried to explain, and I'm only telling just a small part of it. The way he tells it, I mean, it's really, really good. As a story. I mean,
we're working on that.
It's become true. I mean, whatever he told us, was 100% true.
Well, he's been vindicated. He should feel all right about coming forward.
Yeah. Well, he's not a talker. He was kind of like me. I mean, it took me a long while before I can actually come on here and talk.
Yeah.
I ain't got a problem with it now, but it took me a while.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So you realize all of a sudden, you've seen this creature in the woods, and now you are acquainted now with that Bigfoot's real. Is that right?
Yeah.
What did you do because you had to have some kind of fear about it. Once you realize that they are real, and they're close to you in proximity, what did you feel after that? Well, can you tell me of the emotions that you had, and what did you do? Because this is one reason that we decided to do this show was, where did you go for help?
I went to the cops. I asked county, local, and state, for help. The county and local, they know they were real. They said themselves they were real. The state troopers, they literally laughed me out of there. So I started looking in the newspaper or on the internet, Bigfoot's in Evergreen. And I seen this reporter had wrote some things in the newspaper about Bigfoot sightings in Evergreen and around other little counties surrounding us. And I got in touch with him. And he gave me two names, Ashley McFall and Wesley Ackerman. And Wesley Ackerman, he's a pastor. So that's who, but they were both researchers. And so I chose Wesley. I called him up, told him what was going on over here, and he gladly drove over here. He lived about 45 minutes to an hour away from here, and he drove over here. And we sit around and talk, and he gave me some good answers, to what I was needing to know. Because the only thing I was worried about, and a lot of people are, when you come into this blind and you see something this big, that you just never believe existed in the world, was these things were going to rip you apart, kill you, eat you. You hear a lot of people saying that's blind to the subject, when you come across these big old creatures. But that was our thoughts, Yeah. And that's why, we went begging for help. We thought, we're surrounded by these critters. We're seeing them everywhere at this point, all around all around our trailers. We're seeing them sticking their heads out the damn bushes. This big brown one, he wasn't scared at all of being seen by us. I mean, this dude gave us a lot of damn trouble. Banging and yelling, screaming, coming out 20 foot behind us, not even know he's there.
Ooh.
And what you'll see on one of the pictures that I sent, you'll see him right there. You'll see his eye shine right there behind me and Wesley Ackerman. And that was the first night he was here when he actually brought his son. And that thing come out right behind us.
Wesley Ackerman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got his name right, that it's on here if he happens to watch, that we want to give him for credit for helping you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with all this starting going on. What you got, Johnny? I know you got something on your mind. Is he froze? That's why he looks that way?
I don't know. I can't see him.
You can't see him? All right, he might have froze up. All right, so anyways, all right, we'll give him a chance to get back. I'll know when he's back in. So Wesley helped you out. Was there anybody else that kind of
yeah. I actually called BFRO. Okay. And this was 2019 still. And they sent over this guy called Mick McManus or something like that. He was green, real green. I believe this might have been his first or second time out. Okay. And I needed answers. Okay. I just didn't need a report. I needed answers, and he couldn't give me no answers. I just didn't even bother giving him listening to any of my audios or the pictures I had at the time. I just sent him on his way. I mean, he didn't even want to stay over one more hour until it got a little dark outside. He wanted to just leave.
Mm-hmm.
I just let him leave.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the last time.
Makes you wonder why he's a researcher.
Yeah. Well, I found out why he's into Bigfoot. He runs a company called Bigfoot Moving Company.
So it's probably just some marketing, marketing scheme, huh?
Yeah, I reckon.
Okay.
I mean, he seemed like a good guy, but he didn't know nothing. He just wanted to write a report, and that's it. I didn't need a report. I needed answers, and he couldn't give it. I mean, I even paid for a large nuisance animal remover to come out.
Really?
I hired him out of Montgomery, Alabama.
Dude, I would have loved to hear that phone call when you called him up and told him what it was.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Oh, they come out. They come out. And I mean, I think they thought I was gagging, but I wasn't gagging. I even posted one of the footprints that they come across along with us. We found right down there by the little spring. I think that kind of shocked them when they realized I wasn't bullshitting them.
Well, what did they do after that?
Well, they
try to get rid of them?
No, no.
So they didn't want any part of that.
$200 for them. They just wanted to.
Man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Really happened though. Really, really happened. I mean, that's kind of. I was just trying to find some help, man.
Oh my God, that's the best story ever.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, that's how far we reached out, just trying to get something done.
Right.
I mean, because the thing, this one that was really troublesome. He was following my mom around, and that was bad enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your mom, and you got this creature coming out in the open, staring right at her, and just don't need that stuff. My mom's old. She don't. I've read the little stories about women being taken. I can't tell you it was true, but back then I didn't know nothing.
Right.
So we just wanted to.
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of horror stories from and every single aspect of these things, and you don't know. And what's crazy is, and I've always tried to be careful about this. I understand, like my situation is almost a complete opposite of yours. Like they've never messed with. They've done a few things like break a limb.
Yeah.
Break a limb when my wife and my kid are going to the car, or I think like 2 years ago, they finally started throwing stuff behind my wife when she would leave the chicken coop. But they've never done anything crazy and messed with anybody else but me. Of course, my neighbors, there was 2 years of them messing with the neighbors. But just because, and I've always said that, they've never been violent. They were a little aggressive at the beginning, but I was being aggressive too, right? So I understood that. But just because they haven't hurt my dogs or my chickens or scared my family or hurt me or anything, that's my property. And that is the specific individuals that I'm dealing with, I don't know exactly how many there are, but those individuals are not on your property. So I can't tell you, well, or anybody else what individual creatures are going to do in individual situations. The range is massive.
Yeah, because we got these things, they're coming up on our porches. I mean, they're not as bad now. I mean, things just calmed down since I totally started just ignoring them. Things have just come down, but they're still here. They're still coming up the porch. They're still hitting on the house, but not as hard. It's just like a love tap, boom, 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 and run back off in the woods like a little game. But just little things like that. Now, I mean, things have way calmed down compared to what it was.
Well, that's good, man.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I believe that gunshot up in the air is really what tipped everything off to their aggression toward us. Just trying to get us out of here. Almost like a person trying to run us off, because that's what I thought it was, trying to run us off. But you look at these creatures, what they were doing, basically, it's the same thing. I think they were trying to run us out of here.
Was there anybody living on that property before you guys purchased it?
Nope. We're the first people to actually live on this property.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
They probably had to run to the place until y'all got there.
Yeah, because there used to be a sawmill here back in the 70s. I mean, that we're still finding parts down in the dirt from the sawmill. But that's the only thing that's ever been on this property. It was a sawmill and us.
Yeah. Well, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's going on with Stacy Brown? Is he coming out there a lot? Y'all got a
he is. Yeah, he is now. I mean, he come out and tested it first. Before he came out here the first time, Miss Pat and Joe and them were here, and they camped out for about a week. And I guess it was a few days, maybe a week after they left, a handprint turned up on my porch. Really nice handprint. And
I've seen that one. It's a good one.
It was the day before Stacy's supposed to get here. Okay, he was gonna, do a little camera work around here, and try to convince somebody, a skeptic, these things are true and real. And he was real skeptical about the handprint, and I would have too. I mean, the day before you show up, there's a handprint. I'd have been skeptical as well. And I expect him to. I mean, basically the only people I allow out here are the people who are very skeptical, and just don't say, everything that breaks in the woods a Bigfoot. I don't need that out here. I want real researchers out here. Just not people that just go say Bigfoot. I don't need that. I need truth. I don't need words. I need truth. And but anyway, he came out here. He done us. I took him through the woods. After they collected a handprint, it might have been the next morning. I took him through the woods. Hush up, boo. And took him down to the creek. We're looking around, and we get back out to the road, and they turned the camera off, and we're walking back toward the front gate. And right before we got to the front gate, here comes this loud yell, right where we just come out of the woods at back there by the bridge. I think that pretty much convinced him at that moment of that yell. But anyway, that night come around, he put on his Bigfoot suit, walked out down the road to where that high grass area is, and was acting like a monkey, whoop, whoop, and hitting on the tree and all that kind of, just trying to get a reaction. And they got a reaction. And then after that, they went back out to the bridge where that yell come from earlier that day. And they're sitting there. And one of their friends, one of the crews, got their thermal on something that's really hot, peeking out on the side of a tree. But it was it never moved. So he come back off of it. It looks that shape, but it was the only thing hot the whole time they looked at. Stacy was walking. I mean, it's late at night, and he's walking through there, got light on the ground, and he basically stepped in and collapsed a footprint, that was there. So they lost that, but that was basically what happened, but he come back later. His wife went to do have some family work, not family, but went to visit some family down the road over in Montgomery, and he asked to camp out here. So him and Tyler camped out, not doing no Bigfooting or nothing. You can hear him when he goes, leaves the fires, says later, brothers, and gets into his tent. And then the next thing you hear is almost exactly what he was doing down there, doing that monkey sounds. And then you'll hear another one, say, which got like a louder, lower tone, loud but lower tone voice to it, say a word, and that was really cool, because it repeated exactly what he was doing down there inside that monkey suit. It literally repeated him, which that does happen as well, because Miss Jody, first time she was here, we had her walk over here to the tree line, and she's been practicing this howl call, from some of my recordings, because, she was a really bad skeptic. I don't even think she really believed in them. But she went and done her howl, and whatever howled back sounded identical to her. That was cool as hell, man. Cool as hell. Nice audio, too. You can hear her howl out, and then you'll hear that howl come right back. Sounds just like her.
Yeah, their vocal range is all over the place, man. They make the amount. I finally, just this past year, I've hardly ever heard the same type of vocalization twice.
Mm-hmm.
Mass majority of the time, it's all over the place. I finally, this year, or in 2025, recorded another vocal that I recorded like a few weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
Same exact vocal.
Mm-hmm.
And that took 8 years.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of vocals, but none of them were repeating. You know,
Yeah.
they're from Tasmanian devils to 200-pound dog owls
Yeah.
to talking
Yeah.
to quick yells, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't got this in that video, but I recorded this audio. It says "Hoosa Hey Tua," and it sounds Native American, Native American language. That's what it sounds like. So I sent it out to a lot of people, and a lot of those people were Native Americans. Now, Hoosa is a Creek word, Native American Creek word. But then you got Tua, which is a total different Native word. But I have people, if they ever heard this before, and of course I never could get a yes answer. I'm watching Stacey Brown on one of his documentaries. This was long before I knew Stacey. And it was a documentary he did down in Mayaca. And this guy named Roger, has a disfigured face. And he wrote on a piece of paper this Hoosahay or Huahay and then Hua or something, but it's almost identical to what I recorded out here, and that was about as close as you could get on that word, real close.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've got a recording of what sounds like a Native American child running through the woods at night.
Yeah.
And it's crazy sounding.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. When you heard that, was there any other ones making any sounds when you heard that baby sound? Like,
no, it wasn't it was I would say it would have to be probably I mean, there's no way to know, maybe a 8 to 10-year-old equivalent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it started with they threw something in the yard, and then they got my dog's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went over there, I could hear running, like fast running, and there's no way I'm going to be able to repeat what they said, but it was like it sounded like a Native American child, like saying a sentence. And in the middle of that sentence, you could hear it jump, and it went, the words it was saying went real high pitched, and then it hit the ground, and then it kept talking. So it's like this kid running through the woods speaking Native American and running and jumping, and it's pitch black out there. This is not one of my neighbor's kids running around speaking Native American in the woods,
I know.
But no, there wasn't any other sounds. It was just that individual making those sounds that night. But there is another one. When it comes to words, the only one I've ever really been able to that sounds like any kind of real word to us, it was Pika.
Mm-hmm.
Had one yell one night, Pika.
I heard
Pika.
that. Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
Heard that from your tape.
Oh, yeah. But, most of the time it's just completely, I don't know. You can't tell what the heck.
Right. I mean, because you know how tedious it is going through all that audio.
Oh, yeah. Hours and hours.
And, and I've been recording almost at least 95% of every night since 2019. July 5th of 2019. So I'm like 3 years behind on a lot of my audio. And I know I got a ton of vocals in there. I just never went back to get them, and they're sitting
on. Man, you need to post those online and just let people go through them on their own time.
Yeah.
Get a whole bunch of people together and be like, hey, you want it? I'll send it to you.
Yeah. But I send you that baby talk I got. You'll actually hear two of them. You'll hear well, it sounds like a mama and a baby is what it sounds like. And the mama is just saying woo, and she goes on for I guess this is about a 7 to 9 minute audio. But you'll hear her just going woo, and then you'll hear this baby start yakking out there, almost like it's crying, but it's talking. And it's a really cool audio. I'll send that to you, so you can listen to that one. See if there's any similarities to what you've
Oh
heard.
yeah, definitely want to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll take anything he sends my way. Uh, uh, Now do you want to talk about the big Brahman? What happened there,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you want to?
Yeah. I talk about him. You know, that
Because we're
since
going
he
to see the
kept,
eyesight from him here in a minute.
yeah, he kept coming out in the open, and so like I said, I'm still looking for help, even though I'm talking to a researcher and all that. I mean, because they just can't come over every time.
Right.
So anyway, I was going to the store, and I drove out the gate, and there's a game warden sitting right there at the bridge, and I pulled over and I started talking to him, and I told him what was going on over here, and he says, "Can I come over on your property and see?" And I said, "Yeah, come on." So I brought him over here, and I took him straight to the place where we're seeing this big brown one and these other ones are coming to, which I call a blind or nesting area, just right here out my window. And I'm telling him everything, and he come around, and he actually told me, these things were fairly protected. 'Cause I was telling him, we wanted to shoot this thing, to get him out of this yard, and stop following my mom around, 'cause we still felt real like we was gonna die from this thing. And that's when he told me, we couldn't shoot him unless they're there because they were fairly protected. Them were his exact words to us.
Huh.
And I said, wait a minute. Y'all tell us they don't exist, but now you're telling me they're fairly protected. And then he changed the subject real quick on me, But we continued talking. Eventually, he left, and I got my camera on my mom's back porch, filming toward that area where that big one comes out at. And it's in February. Hold on, let me go back. In January, I'm filming there, and I'm looking at my iPad during that time, and I start seeing this flashing light coming from the ground, going over that area that I showed that game warden. You can see that light just flashing. Didn't know what that light was, but eventually found out it was a drone, later on down the road. But anyway, a few weeks after that, we had 2 or 3 days of machine gun fire tracing off through the woods. And from that day forward, we ain't never seen that big brown one again. He was always out here, always, at that time, because I believe they were trying to push us off. I mean, it wasn't a seasonal thing at this time. It was, they was up on us at this time. And I mean, it's become like a seasonal now, but back then it wasn't. But ever since that gunfire, 2 or 3 days of gunfire, ain't never seen that thing again. Now, did they kill it? I can't tell you if they did or didn't. All I can say is he ain't never been back.
Well,
But that all happened right after I talked to that game warden. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering how that come about. I mean, we've talked about it, of course, but I couldn't remember who you had talked to because, like I said, the whole premise of tonight is how people get help, and I've been posting barracks and some other comments about how much you've already helped them throughout what you've already done. I'm wanting people to feel what you were feeling at that particular time,
Yeah. Yeah,
not knowing.
we're feeling total fear, feeling pushed. That's the way we was feeling, I mean, our mind's locked already because we can't believe what we're seeing, something that
Be right back to it.
never existed, but yet there it is, I, we were brain locked,
Yeah,
basically. You don't know
and
how to think when you first run up on these things. You don't.
people don't. I don't think people. A lot of people. There's some other people that like Miss Pat. She's just brave as all get out.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's a difference when you didn't know exactly
Mhm.
the stuff that even the stuff that I have learned over the years. Uh, at the particular time that I saw one, it was, of course, it was benign and all this and that kind of stuff. But the time that I come stepping out of that trailer and when I seen it walk past, you know my story,
Mhm.
and I stepped out there and I've got the my little 22 loaded up and hollered for it. All of a sudden it hit me. Now I'm in this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I still would what I would call scared, but I really got what I call a respectful fear that at any given time,
Yeah. Yeah.
this whole thing could change. I'm no longer in control, that type deal.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna say I was sitting there, out of my mind scared. I ain't gonna say
Yeah.
that because I
Now
wasn't.
I
I'll be
can't
lying to
say
you.
that, I can't say that neither because it didn't push us off the property. Okay, we're
Hmm.
still here, so I can't say out of the mind scared neither. All I can say is we did have fear, and everybody who
Yeah.
lives this way is gonna feel that fear. Even people
Hmm.
who come out on this property, you know, come across that fear. Um, a guy, this last people I had out here. Uh, a guy uh, started texting me at between 4 and 5 that morning. Is there anything outside my tent? And I didn't have my phone ringer on, so I didn't see it till that morning. But found out he texted all the other guys, to look out, see if there's anything by the tent. This dude was in full blown panic, dude. I mean,
Ooh.
full blown panic, and it's that fear that you feel if you're walking down the road and you feel like you got like 100 eyes on you,
Hmm.
you can feel those eyes on you, but you don't see nothing. You just got those prickly hairs back there. Your arm hairs are up on your arms and all that. That type feeling. I mean, he was in full blown panic, but there was nothing there. But yet he was in full blown panic. Yeah,
There's a difference in that.
yeah, yeah. And
There's a difference.
that's the kind of fear that I'm actually talking about. Because it is a fear. Even though it's a panic, it's still a fear. Eyes right there on you. I mean, that's what caused me and my wife. For me to take her over at my daughter's house was that fear because she'd seen some
Hmm.
eyes out in the woods. We're just sitting outside, sitting in our chairs. I got up and walked off somewhere, and she looked over in the woods and she said she seen eyes looking right at her. And from that day forward, she went to her mom's house and didn't come back for 5 years. Yeah.
But there's a difference in the fear that you can uh, consciously think your way through it,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean by that, in a panic mode.
Yeah.
Uh, I've never hit the panic mode.
Yeah.
Never have, and I've been out there knowing that we're in proximity of each other, really close. You know what I mean? But there was also what I call that cautionary fear. Okay, I'm not panicking. I'm not running and screaming through the woods, bloody murder. I'm consciously thinking about my next move, what I need to do, and I need to do it in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause
Otherwise, I'm gonna be a victim, or we're fixing to have another encounter face to face.
yep. Yep. I mean, cause see, Johnny, he's been growled at. It's on his videos, almost all his videos where, he's been growled. He's growled at.
Hmm.
The growls that we get is a little different. Uh, there's one of them that's continuous. It went on for like 3 minutes. I had to cut off 2 minutes of it because my dog's sitting there barking at it, and he's right here by the parabolic, so it literally blow your ears off. So I cut that part and just left at least a good minute of it, just sitting there growling at us. And I was just outside, letting him use the bathroom, and it started up on me. I mean, that was just last year, but that's how they growl out here. And there's other growls in there as well, and they're almost all different. All the growls are literally different from each other. You won't hear the same growl, almost the same tone, but different. You could tell it's different ones doing it. And that was part of the escalation to actually keep us in the house. Kept growling at us, keep us in the house to where they can just roam the property free and do what the hell they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Johnny, you got anything else for him before we get into the video? Before we do that, I got to say, evening to Mr. Two-Time. He is a Georgia fan, Flatrock, but he's a really good guy, and I think the world of him. So whenever I see him, I got to take the time to say hi and roll tide to him. And I seen Misfit in here. I hope he's still in here, and I want to say evening to him too. But anyways, Johnny, what else you got before we go? And that'll give me a time to smoke about half a cigarette because I won't be able to when I get to do the video.
Yeah.
Nothing really off the top of my head. I mean, I learned a lot more tonight than I knew before.
Yeah. What I say is, Johnny, the way this video starts out, and you're gonna see it as well, is basically, it's gonna start off at house. What you might have been hearing when you was at your house, and you just maybe coyotes or something.
Yeah.
Where these tree knocks. Again, we thought they was just the trees just popping. Because you know how trees are pop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we thought it was. You'll hear that as well. It just continued to escalate little by little. I mean, I stop it, have him stop the recording and explain how it just kept escalating up, and you'll see on this, it just kept escalating and escalating, until you'll understand why, we were basically begging for help out here.
Yeah.
I mean, it got pretty bad. It got pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, even to where they were banging and yelling outside my windows, just walking outside in the open right here and out my damn window, just right there.
They wanted you gone.
Out in the open. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can.
They wanted us out of here. That's for sure. I mean, this is, the real prime property. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, you got wild fruit everywhere. You got more deer than you could ever shoot. You got turkeys. You got the regular little critters. The coons, the possums. The snakes. If you want, ain't many rattlesnakes no more. They let all them king snakes through over here. So basically, all the rattlesnakes are gone.
Well, we pretty much verified that, out there at the Happy Place, that family unit from when he had his event take place when he was 19 until we got back out there, it was over 30 years.
Yeah, and they still there.
So you're talking about, if they've got prime property like that, there's probably, I mean, they're running out of places to go, so it's totally understandable that they would be trying to, run you out like that.
Yeah. I mean, because I even looked up, when I was going through the BFRO stuff, they got that database and all. And damn if they didn't have 2 Class A sightings. One over here at Travis Bridge and one over there at 84 Bridge, and that's right in between us. I'm closer to Travis Bridge, but you got 2 Class A sightings at each bridge between us, on each side of us. Then on the mapping project, you got one about 500 yards outside my front door by another hunter. They just spotted all over here. Don't know why they're in the area. Exclusively. I mean, I don't think they are right now no more. They do travel up this river that we live on, and that's a big thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get started. And like you said, when I'm out, guys, I can hear everything. We'll play a certain part of your video, and you just tell me to stop it. We'll stop it, back it up, whatever we need to do. And
Stop it right after that. Yeah, just stop it right after the chest thump. You'll hear the chest thumps, and it'll go. The chest thumps will roll 3 times. Just stop it at that, and then you'll hear. I talk a little bit from there.
All right. Well, we'll get it started. Let's see what happens. What was that right there?
Tree knocking.
Tree knocking. We haven't heard the chest pump yet, have we?
No, it's next.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that tree knocking. Right. What is that?
That's chest thumping. It's chest thumping. Now I believe that's where, in my opinion, when he did that, he was escalating it. That more or less sounds territorial way he was doing that. Chest.
Yeah.
And that's when the next thing that happens is when the rocks start throwing. That's when my dog got hit, and which that part ain't recorded, but when they would hit my house with rocks, throwing them on the front porch and all, you'll hear that. You'll hear the rocks hitting my house and the porch.
I'm sorry, I got to hear that tree knock. What's fascinating to me about the tree knocking itself, it started out 1, 2, 3, and then it went 1, 2, and then it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. See, my dog was barking on it. On that critter, but I took my dog barking out of that, to try to shorten everything up. I mean, even with the howls, I took out like 3 or 4 minutes on the howls, just so I can keep the videos down to a minimum, the audio down to a minimum.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go back to, and the reason why I'm really fascinated with the tree knocks, most guys like me, you, Flatrock, Johnny. Anybody else out there in the chat room, they're going to go out there and they've always heard a 3 knock. And if they're going to try to knock them, and I know some people say don't do it, and there we are. I've done it once before, and when I've done a 3 knock. That's just something that we're ingrained to do, I guess. the second time I done it to make sure it wasn't an echo, I done it twice and I got a 3 knock back. And that's what told me, hey,
Well, let me tell you why he was knocking like that. Again, my
okay,
dog smelled him out. Okay,
yeah,
he tapped 2 or 3 times while my dog was barking at him, and then he actually, woof, at my dog.
yeah,
And Boo barked back at him after he done the other them 3 knocks, and then I guess them last knocks were letting the other ones know that maybe he was found or something. That's why he kept on knocking. I mean that's my only guess of why he knocked so many times.
mm-hmm. That's about what you figured. Let me see if I can go back to that because I want to hear it again.
Yeah.
I guess it would help to hit play, wouldn't it?
Sounds almost like a code,
It
don't it?
does, don't it? That's amazing.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like to me like you would hear like you watch an old war movie, Vietnam or something like that, of how machine gun fire goes loud, and
Yep.
it almost don't sound like what I call well, because most time they record gorillas doing that. It's close up. You can tell there's some distance in this, but that's loud.
Yep.
That is
Yep.
amazing. What do you
Yep.
think, Johnny?
That's actually on. Yeah, that's actually on that 10 minute audio you got.
Is it? I ain't got to that
Yeah.
part yet, but I'll be listening for it. And I understand what you guys are talking about, listening to audio and how long it takes. Me being
Yep.
a working guy, I have to fight my battles as I go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this. All right, Johnny, you got anything on that as far yet?
No, man, go ahead. I'm just
Okay.
listening.
All right.
That was the first rock. This was on recorder. I was using recorder to record this. They're throwing it right there close to where that recorder was, too, right there on that back porch.
That's the second one.
That was actually the third one. There's the fourth one.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good God.
What I said.
The next one is the walking away that we hear all the time.
Flatrock, what did you think when you heard that?
What would you think?
Sounds bipedal. Yeah.
That's what I think. No, I'm
Yeah.
serious. I'm in a way.
Well, it's when we pulled in. We're thinking as people. We pull in and get out of the car. Next thing you know, you hear that walking. Walking away from us back into the wood. I mean, we yelled at it one time, said, "Hey!" And it stopped. Only stopped for about 5 or 10 seconds, and it just walked on through. So, the very next night, well, not even before night, I put a floodlight out there, where the rock actually come from and this walking away was coming from. Put a floodlight out there and put a camera out there. And I caught something that looked like a little human child at 2:30 in the morning, out there.
I can tell. I'm like you guys. I've been hunting all this kind of stuff, but you can literally hear the little small twigs cracking underneath this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, when I first heard it, when I was downloading it, I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's a fast pace. The ones that I've heard uh, were well. I can't say that they were slow because they was, according, in my story, it ran back up to the house, so it was literally running, but it was
Yeah.
still a longer pace. It was like, where this
Yeah.
is walking.
Well,
And hey, so
yeah, that audio, is just a demonstration of the walking we heard over
uh-huh.
there. Now I caught that audio right here behind my house just last March. It's the one that got in the cooler. It actually hit my parabolic pole. The whole audio, you can hear him run up to the parabolic pole, slap the parabolic pole, and then he'll stand still for about 2 minutes. He'll walk over to the cooler, open it up, and there's oyster shells in there. Just empty oyster
Hmm.
shells. And he'd get it. You could hear him crunch down on one and shut the cooler. And then what you hear, stomping off.
I got to hear this footstep. Johnny, can you hear these footsteps again?
Oh yeah.
And yes, Stephen, that is rocks hitting the house. I don't care what anybody says. That's amazing stuff.
Yes. I mean, we actually caught some walking just the other night. I was on a Zoom call with my friends. I think it was like 4 or 5 of us on a Zoom call, and me and Boo just walked back and out. I was just sitting out there on the porch, talking along with my buddies. Walked back in the house, and within 3 to 5 minutes, I heard the walking on my iPad here, and I told everybody to listen. And I held my phone up to the iPad, and they just hear the walking going right past my house, going through the woods. I mean, it,
Okay.
just like what you hear right there, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just 2 nights ago.
I got to get the flat rocks. There's no doubt about it. Here we go.
All right, this is when they started messing with our dog. This is where they're trying to locate Boo, my dog. They're trying to locate him, and yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to agree with Mr. Athos. I've been reading I am Varick's comments, but if you want to come on here and tell your situation, your story, tell me who you would want to talk to with. I'll be glad to get them on, and we could get Flat Rock. Anybody you want. I'm sure Flat Rock wouldn't mind helping you. Uh,
Well, I'm gonna tell
you
you,
know,
the best person for for that is Johnny. You know,
yeah, it could be Johnny.
'cause he's in because he's
I'm just offering
interacting
him.
with these creatures. He's got more answers than I would have.
Yeah, but you probably gone through some familiar stuff with it. So if I'm just telling Varax, if he would like to come on and talk about it, not particularly with me if you don't want, but I'll be glad to put you guys on and see if we can. He's already indebted to you, he said, for the things that you've already done. So if he wants to get on here and talk it out it might help him some. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm just offering a platform for him to do so if he wishes. And if you do, we'll get it fixed up. But anyway, let's continue on.
Yeah.
All right, what we let's do next?
This is where they was trying to locate my dog.
Okay.
And Boo react.
Hang on a second. Is that little squeal out here in the background?
You'll hear a real quick whoop, and then a whistle.
Yeah, it's like a little squeal.
It's actually a whistle.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. You barely hear it.
Yep. This is where they kill a canine. Where's that talking coming from?
It's probably on my end. My family just got home.
Oh, okay.
Now, Flatrock, you mean you don't remember recording them while they were talking while he was killing this coyote?
No, that ain't me talking.
My bad.
I just wondering where it was coming from.
They snuck up on me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn my microphone off. But I do have one question.
Go ahead.
Have you, when they're around, do you hear these low nesting birds that chirp that will alert
Yeah.
from the same location where they're at?
Yep. Yep. I'm finding the sticks in the ground. When I didn't realize this till I started hearing from some really good people, but I started when I got a light like that floodlight out in the woods, or just looking out there. I was told to always look on the edge of the lights, because they'll always be on the edge. Say if your porch light was beaming out in the woods, you want to look on the edge of those lights, that shine in the woods, because that's where they'll come up at, and that's where you'll also see these sticks at in the ground.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I believe it. I believe you think the same. As that's a marker for them to know not to go no further. Say if they was a camera there, they put a stick down to let them know, don't walk past that far, or you're gonna, might get caught, or get in the light and all that stuff. But there was this one that totally broke this rule, totally broke it, and you'll see that one.
Okay. All right. Evening to you, Van. Miss Joanne, glad to see y'all here. All right. Let's see. What was this?
This is that killing the canine.
Yeah, let's see if we hear the voices again. Now, what was that?
That's when it killed it. You done seen this one, Icebox. That's where it walks through the yard.
Yeah, I just got to hear this where
Yeah.
the ending.
You'll hear it slam. It slams him against a tree.
Did it already have it injured?
Yeah, you can hear him injured. He's
That's
injured.
what it sounds like.
Yeah. You'll hear it whoop and then slam him. There's the whoop. There's the slam.
Dang. Just slammed it right across the tree. Did you find him?
Nope. But you'll see that one cross the yard right there.
Yeah, that's my favorite video. There it
There
goes.
he goes. I mean, because they got the dogs. They got our dogs. The other dog, my brother's dog's done been killed. My dog's already down in the house. Now they got free reign roaming the property.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Steven on that. When it killed that dog, that sounds like a noise from hell. Good grief. Johnny, did you see it?
You can tell how close it was too when he killed it.
Yeah. Johnny, did you see it when he walked?
Yeah, this is one I've seen this one several times before.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Uh-oh. Sound like you got tree knocking going on in the house. Now this is escalating as I'm gonna pause right there.
Yeah.
This is escalating from wind to wind. Does all this happen?
This is when this is when they got no loose dogs running around the property now. Okay.
Okay.
They killed one. Mine's in the house now. They ain't got no other dogs out roaming around on this property other than in a cage up front to where they can move around the property now without being caught. Okay.
So they're getting strategic on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this was right out my living room window. I'm sitting right here beside the living room windows where I'm filming. This thing has got, I'm using a baby monitoring cam, which basically is one of them round old cameras that we used to have, to do things. But it's an old baby camera. And I stuck it there in the window. And them things is totally surrounded with IR lights, okay? Just busting lights, that infrared out there. And yet that thing's right out in the open. I filmed him for an hour and a half, okay? From where this light is on your very right side here, he was about right there. And it took him an hour and a half just to get to that damn tree right there.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain this one as we go.
Yeah.
So right now, when this film starts, it's that bright light over to the right.
Yeah, you see his eye shine right here beside this tree.
Mm-hmm.
You can see both his eyes right there. You'll see him move around that tree. He's looking into this window right here because there's no curtains on it or nothing. Because I was actually in here unpacking when I caught this. And he was just right out my window here. And, I just happened to put that. When I seen them, I thought it was just a light between my house and my mom's house, which shouldn't have been there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I put the camera up, because, maybe a bear right here in the yard, to give me something to show my mom and my brother, to watch out for. And it ended up being this here.
All right. Let's watch. Now, Flatrock.
Yes, sir.
To the right of that tree, there's something moving there. What is that?
Yeah, that's the booger.
Okay, so because see over here to the right, it's
Yeah,
still that bright light.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, that's what I want to clarify.
Yeah, that light's coming off my mom's trailer over there.
Okay, okay.
You'll see me bump the camera twice, and you'll see it go back and down and backwards. Yeah, I was about that. That's how high the eye shine was right there. Where my brother's, it was higher than my brother's hand right there.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is after.
Yeah, that's the same tree right there that he was at, that he went around.
Huh. That he didn't have really no cover up here to the left.
No. What he did, you see that back corner right there?
Which
Where these little bushes are? That's where he went.
back over toward the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got him. I got him over there. I filmed him for about another minute when he went over there. And caught him over there. He was still just squatted down over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Ross got visitors.
Right. That's me.
You want to explain this?
That's me, the pastor, and the son. And there that one is right there behind us, with about 20 feet behind us.
To the
see
left.
the eye shine of him on the left-hand side of him.
Okay. Now, was y'all walking back from the woods?
Yeah, we just come out of my house. No, we just come out of my house. We just went over some audio and stuff. And we was just coming back out to the campfire. And we didn't see him there when we put the flashlight over there. We seen the trail camera go off, but we figured it was just flashing on us, and got that back there behind us.
Right. Good play.
This is some of the growling that they were doing.
I got to stop right there. Now, this growling that you was talking about, Flatrock, you were there. So is it kind of more of a lowish growl, or is it just kind of like like a breathing growl?
This was like a guttural growling, like you hear it. I was outside with Boo. I just captured this growling last year, from back here. And I was outside with Boo. He was using the bathroom. And I was over here by the porch, and I started hearing something out there in the woods. And it started off like talking almost, but I come back into the house. Well, let me go back. Boo, finally heard it on the original audio. You can hear Boo bark, run up to where I am and the fence right here. And he gets right there beside the parabolic, and he starts barking at it. And it goes on for about 2 more minutes, from this, but he barks at it, and eventually it backs out, and just walks off.
All right, so this to you is a gruttal growl.
Guttural growls, yeah.
All right.
He's just sitting there growling at us, Why? I don't know. He was sitting there growling at us.
All right, well, let's do it one more time. Johnny, what would you do if you heard that 20 feet away from you?
I recorded it.
Did you? Did you?
Yeah, I've got a growl recorded.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't
Oh.
20 feet, but about 50 feet.
Well, this picture, he ain't the one who did the growling. What you see behind me and my pastor is that big brown one I talk about. That's who's right there behind us. This growling I caught last year, but we was also hearing that kind of growling up front when we first moved out here. Yeah. And that's the kind of growling we was hearing.
Yeah, I know what you were
hear
doing.
the other growls as well that happened over the few years. I mean, even one when Miss Pat and Joe were here, one of them growls is from when they were actually here.
Yeah, I know what we were doing here.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of curious. I didn't know Johnny had a growl recorded.
Oh yeah, he's got a good.
I know he's got a lot of stuff. I know that. But
I got a really very, very clear growl, and then he messes with my dog. You can hear him actually. It actually sounds like he either stomps or jumps out of a tree.
Yeah.
And then my dog barks, and then he goes.
Yeah.
And then my dog will bark some more, and he goes. So he's messing with my dog. This is actually I think probably the first recording I ever got that was decent, and that was the third time I'd been growled at. And
heard it.
Yeah, surely you've heard it. But
one's right there at the beginning of all his videos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've heard just about every one of his recordings, just about. All right.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. The first one, it put me in my place. I knew exactly what I was dealing with, and I knew I was 100% outmatched by whatever just made that sound. There was nothing I was going to be able to do about it.
Yeah. Now growling's one thing, but when they yell at you, that's another.
Yeah. Well, luckily they haven't escalated to that. So
they did me one time. I mean, I was right there at the trailer, at my fifth wheel, but he definitely yelled.
That'll send chills up your spine, won't it?
Yeah, you're gonna hear it. You'll hear him yell at me.
Okay, you let me know.
Yeah, well, just keep on going through the road. About 3 or 4 of them there.
Sound like he's a little bit upset about something.
Yeah. Yeah, see, these are just some of the pictures that I took.
Right. A little positive.
Yeah.
A little positive right there. Yeah, these are some of the pictures he wanted to show you guys. That's why I'm letting it be self-explanatory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yep.
You can tell. These are kind of stuff that you don't have to draw circles around.
Right.
Now, before I continue on, Flatrock, these pictures that you showed, that's at your house, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're all at my house. Yes, sir. Like this one right here, I'm standing in the same place as this one that was in here. They was actually hunting hunting the deer right there, because my corn pile is right there. It was in front of this tree. This A-frame tree. My corn pile is just right there in front, and he's just right there. I guess ambushing the deer as they're coming in.
Oh.
After this yell, put a halt to it.
Right there.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
imagine just being right there and that thing, that yell at you. That will literally almost make you crap yourself when they do that. Cause that, I mean, these recordings really don't,
It don't do it justice.
it does
I
not
can tell.
do it justice. It really, really don't. But anyway, after these growls that they did back then, they even escalated even. I didn't think it could escalate any further than what it did. I mean, the growling was plenty enough, that we just didn't need no more. And that's when my mom, stopped coming outside at night. My brother, he stopped really coming out at night. He had to bring his dog out right before nighttime back then, and let him use the bathroom because he got him a new dog, and take him right back in the house. He didn't let that dog out of his sight like he did the other one. But they escalated again after all that growling, and that's when they actually started hitting the house, yelling and hitting the house. Doing little crazy things.
So they're ramping it up. And
Yeah,
hey, Miss Natalie.
They ramped it. They ramping it up again. Yep.
Yeah. I just got to say hi to Miss Natalie. She, I think she is going to be at the campground, so I want to make sure she said hi to her. All right. Rock?
No.
Nope. What was it?
It,
No. Was it?
Yeah. These are just a few times they busted my house.
That's with their hands.
Yeah.
I was already he at my house like I'll be going, who is it? Because I ain't answering that door.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And again.
Yep.
You ain't going back in the woods?
Yeah.
Yeah. Slapping my glass door right there.
Yeah.
That's the one that yells and beats on the house.
It sounds like it's hollered for you, don't it?
Yeah.
That sounds like you're being called out.
Yeah. He's pissed. All right, hold it right there. All right.
I'm going to hold it right there.
All right, what you're going to see here, I actually put a pointer to it. This is when they started coming up on the porches, okay? And I was trying to catch them coming around the corner of the houses, and that's where I'm actually pointed. And I was hoping they'd come out of that little hole right there in the woods.
Yep.
But they got
right,
they got right up against the backside of the house there and only caught the shadows. But watch how fast they show up. That's what you're focused on is the shadow right here on your left-hand side, right above that tree shadow right there. You'll see them, how fast they just come in. It's like boom, 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 You don't see them like walk in. They just appear. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Yep. I remember this one, and I love it. But I'm still amazed about them banging on your house and act like they're hard. Yeah. I mean, it literally sounds like an old Western gunfight. Hey, get yourself out here, and we'll take care of this.
Yeah.
That's what it literally sounds like to me.
Yeah. I mean, basically what this is about is how fast they are, how fast they can move up, and they moved up real fast, You know, 'cause I missed them a lot. You know, filming. I
Yeah.
only caught their shadows because they're hard to trick. You know, I hate to say it, but they hard to trick. But you know, I mean, I only got what I got, but you know, you could see their shadows come up on the corner of that house, you know, and how fast they move up. And I cut a lot of the dead mount out, you know, where
Right.
they went up on the porch, because since it ain't showing that part, I cut a lot of that out. So you'll see them come in and you'll see how fast they shoot out.
Okay.
Boom, 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 boom. There they are. That fast.
Now, how many was it?
4. All right, there they go. Yeah, how fast they just boom out of there.
Whoa. 2 of them. I know. I seen 2 shadows just like that.
Yeah. All right, I missed this one too. Hold on a minute. On this corner over here is where they was. Okay, on the on this left-hand corner is where they were. Okay,
on the dark side.
This time, I mean, here I got the camera facing that way. I'm gonna catch him. I'm gonna catch him. Well, what does he do? He comes around the other way. But also, you can see the RV or the fifth wheel I was staying in right here on the other side of the car here.
Yeah.
That little opening's right there on the other side of that window that's open. It's just right below there. Yeah, as you notice, I got something up against that little door right there on that fifth wheel now.
Right there above the car hood there?
Right above the car hood, yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, again, only catch a shadow coming up and coming off. But when he's coming off, watch the arm coming off the shadow of the arm coming off that car. Watch how long that arm is.
Yeah, and I've seen this video.
Yep.
Pay particular attention to what the cat is doing.
Yeah. There he comes. All right, I added some audio where they were actually on my porch. Cat comes running. There he goes.
If you notice, that cat was not running. You know how they'll back up and arch their backs, or you know what I mean.
Yep.
This thing knows what this thing is. He's watching this every move. You can
now
tell.
On this video, you're gonna see eye shine right there at that window, right there in the dead center. You'll see eye shine, and you'll see a family group come in there, steal a lot of dog food off the porch, and walk away.
Now how we work? I know the light to the almost left of center.
Yeah, the little left of center. That's the window right there. That's where he walks in front of. I mean, you'll actually be able to see his whole body at one point. I mean, because that really ain't that thick right there where I'm filming through. But being as dark as it is, you know, and them being so black, you know, you only get what you can get.
Yeah, yep, you're absolutely right. Now, this light to the right, top right-hand corner, what's that?
That's just a pole light.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yep. All right, the audio real quick. The audio is another time that they were up on the porch. It's on that 10-minute audio you got, Icebox. When they come up on the porch, you're gonna hear them talking, okay? And you're gonna hear the tongue popping. You're gonna hear the blowing that Johnny explained. That you'll hear that once or twice, but you're gonna hear him actually talking on the back porch.
Now, is it in this video or is it on the 10-hour recording?
I added it to this video. I mean, because these creatures are on the back porch or on the front porch over there, and this audio, the audio that I got attached to it. That way, you just not listen to static.
Right.
Yeah, I added the back porch audio to this. So it's 2 in 1. It's 2 different times, but it's basically what they were doing over here. Coming up on the porch, stealing food and walking off after, talking and all that stuff.
Okay. All right. I like the way you done it.
Yeah.
I see what you're talking about in that window.
Yeah. All right, now they coming up on fire. This is Stacy here. You're gonna hear that monkey sound here.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep. Really?
Yep.
I'm gonna back it up a few seconds.
All right, brother.
And then you go hear this other one in just a second. Right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reason I put that on there, as part of the escalation, when I bring all my friends over and researchers over, a lot of times we don't see these creatures, but we're picking them up on audio almost all the time. Stacy didn't even hear that thing right there. And he was right there, but he did not hear it. I caught it on my iPad inside the house here, as I was recording. And as soon as I heard it, I walked out, and I asked him, did anybody just say anything out here, act like a chimpanzee sound. And both of them said no, because Stacy, he was basically, almost asleep already. Tyler, he was in his tent, but yeah, that's what I caught. Sure enough.
And
That's some
that's
good
the
stuff,
monkey.
man.
Edito. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was just saying, it's awesome recordings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Miss
You know what
Pat,
I think
go ahead.
I think the funniest thing I've heard in years of doing this is hearing Flatrock say, well, I'm not a
I'm not.
researcher.
Truly, I'm not. I'm a collector. I document the audio out here. That's what I do.
Well, if this was the competition, I'm glad you're not a researcher then. You do a damn good job for not being a
Yeah.
researcher.
I mean,
Tony, though.
if it's here, I do it for safety reasons. That's what I do it for, and that's why I started it, is for, my family safety. That's the only reason I started,
Yeah.
and coming in this thing blind as we did, and catching what I'm catching, and like I said, I got so much more I could put out there, but it's it's not about putting it out there. I just want other people like me, families like mine, that move out on a piece of property, don't come in this shit blind like we did. I mean,
Yeah.
you couldn't come no blinder than what we were. Could not come no blinder than what we were. And it was a total surprise, just coming in up on these things like we did. Not
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I went through about a year and a half of feeling like I was going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you got to deal with the fact after you realize what they are, 100%.
Yeah.
Then you got to deal with the fact that people don't believe you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got past that so quick because I never cared about what people thought.
Yeah.
My only thought was my family, and that was it. Nothing more. Nothing more. I mean, I've been threatened. I took a call where a guy demanded to come out here. He didn't like being vetted. And that's the reason I quit my YouTube page, because I said, if this is what YouTube's going to bring, I don't need this shit. So I shut it down right then.
Yeah, I had a couple of those at the very beginning, and then about 2 years ago, I had a drone show up out here,
Yeah.
and it hung around. It came and left. I'm assuming it had a 30-minute battery. It came and left 4 times,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it hung out right over where my chicken coop is.
Yeah.
Right back where I'd been gifting.
Yeah.
And I'll never know who that was. Maybe it was a neighbor's kid, but I found it very hard to believe that a neighbor's kid would
I seriously doubt that, Johnny.
be out here for two straight hours, right where was in all my videos. So I'll never know, but I do know it. I was out there with a shotgun, and I never could get it to. Whoever was flying it knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They never would get over and open. They never would get over the open part of my yard to where I could get a shot.
Now, was it?
And they stayed right above the trees.
Yeah. Was it one of those quiet drones, real quiet, or was it more like a regular drone that's kind of loud?
I mean, it was. I mean, I can't say that. I mean, I really couldn't tell what kind of drone it was. It was a bigger one. It wasn't huge. I mean, it looked like it was about that big.
Yeah. The
So,
one we had out here, Johnny, was real quiet. You couldn't even hardly hear the blades going. Could not hardly hear the blades going.
Well, my wife, she was having to tell me when it came, because I couldn't. My hearing's not all that great to begin with, but she was the one that was having to tell me that it was back. So she could hear it over me. So I don't know if it was. Only drones that I've flown have been real crappy, cheap ones. So I don't know what to compare them to.
Was you seeing that? Was she seeing that flashing light up underneath?
No.
Well, see,
No, there was no lights.
Yeah, because this one had just one flashing light up underneath, and it looked like it was actually filming what it was doing. That's what it looks like it was doing. Didn't have no outer lights, just had that one light, that just kept flashing,
Right.
right over the area where I showed that game warden, that exact area. And nobody knew what we were dealing with over here. Only that game warden.
Right.
Nobody else. I mean, the cops did, but nobody else. And yet here's that drone flying right there. I was just glad I caught it on film, that drone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only way I was able to figure out what it was, because I didn't know what it was.
Right.
But somebody told me that was a drone. A guy that works with drones said that was a drone. So I got to go with him. So since they know.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially after hearing all those gunshots afterwards.
Yeah. That was crazy. Now, I still only say it only lasted 2 days, but Mr. Bobby up front, he said he heard 3 days of it. So that's why I say 2 or 3 days, so that way there ain't no argument about it. It's either 2 or 3 days they was gunfire. And, and that big one just wasn't around no more. I mean, he was always here, but after that, he was gone.
Yeah. Well, I'm convinced that that the government knows. They know something. They know something specific that is allowing them to find them.
Well,
there's something that they know that we don't know, and they're using whatever that information is to be able to track them down.
Yeah, well, we already know. They know. I mean, they come out subtly, that they know. You go by the Swanee River, Lower Swanee regulations. That's federal hunting regulations. That ain't state. That's federal, and it states in there that you cannot kill a skunk ape. Okay, that's federal law. The game warden telling me, they were federally protected, that I couldn't kill one, so I can't kill something that don't exist. But yet, he tells me federally protected. So yeah, they know. I mean, they subtly put it. They ease it out there, but it's just subtle. The state of Florida has 73,000 emails with the keywords Bigfoot, Sasquatch, wild man, skunk ape. 73,000 in their buildings, but you gotta pay $12,000 for them emails. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't need them.
Nope.
Don't need them. All right. Well, Johnny, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, man, I'm good. I thoroughly enjoyed this, though. I know that.
I did too. But I want to thank Flatrock first and foremost, man. That was an excellent video.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was.
And everything you have talked about tonight. And I'm hoping like Verax, Sunshine, and a few others have gotten something out of this tonight. And that's why we're doing this. That's what's the name of this series. It's why I do this.
Yeah.
And Flatrock, I think you've helped a lot of people that you just don't know about yet. I really do.
Well, I hope so. Like I said, I'm only looking to at least help one person, one family.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just so they won't go through what we went through. I mean, hell, man, I lost my wife for 5 years because of this.
Yes, you did.
Yep. Even though we stayed together, we just living a separated marriage. Her over at my daughter's and I'm here.
She wouldn't come home.
Nothing never changed, in that way. She just would not come back here because, of what we were dealing with. And, she was scared to death. But, she finally got the nerve to come back. And within a week after she got back in here, she come running out of the damn bedroom because something just beat on the damn wall. 1 week after she gets here. But she's got used to it now. She sees what's going on. Miss Pat has told her a lot of things. How to overcome it and all that stuff, which I'm damn well proud of. She's one of my best friends. And so yeah.
That being said, I think we need to tell Blue Eye a great gratitude for helping her out. That's what it's all about when it gets down to the nitty gritty, because everybody wants us to prove Bigfoot, this and that. I'm not out for that. I don't mind, if it goes along with it, I don't care, but that's not my plans. That's not what I do these shows. People like Miss Pat, you, Johnny, Richard, Old Bear. I mean, the list just keeps growing and growing, and damn it, Bud and Angie, all them, Sunshine. I mean, everybody is involved. We know they exist, whether you've seen one or not. It's just helping and understanding these creatures. It's putting it up into computers, what I call it. And I really want to thank Blue Eyes for helping your wife out. I really do.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm real happy about that. Real happy.
All right. My second thing I want to do is I want to thank Johnny, Johnny for coming on here.
Johnny, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't thank me. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on.
But thing is, Johnny, what you do on your channel, helps more people than what you actually believe, Bubba.
Yep.
You're out there getting answers to people like us that don't know the answers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're actually interacting with these creatures, and people who don't want to interact with them can see, maybe they don't want to hurt us, because like I said, what my mind
I think they
wanted to kill us, you're showing they don't.
Well, like I said before, it's all about I think the individual beings themselves. And, in a way, I just got lucky. I started out aggressive, and that night that I was growl at, and it pretty much put me in my place, I realized exactly where I was at on the food chain.
Yeah.
And it kind of took all that aggression away from me. But at the same time, it was the most fascinating thing I've ever experienced in my entire life.
It is.
So
absolutely.
It is. That's can't stop.
Right. That's how I was. It's just a matter of luck, and I didn't know what to do. It was just guessing. All I knew is aggression. I was, be honest with you, I was afraid of scaring them off.
Yeah.
If I was aggressive, because I wanted to know. I was hooked from the moment I heard that growl. I was afraid I was going to scare them off, and I started. Literally all I do is when they do for years, when they would do something, I would just react, and I would act like a excited school kid every time they made a noise. And I'm literally, you'll see in the videos, I'm literally going, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I don't care. I don't care that I look like an idiot. But it took a long time. It took a long time to get to the point to where I didn't project any type of hostility, because it's only natural. I'm telling you right now, it still scares me to be out there in the woods without a flashlight, waiting. I mean, I had one night last year to where, the anxiety level that I felt, I'd never felt before. And it was before I even got out there all the way through the interaction. And it took a miracle for me to not leave.
Yeah.
So it's not like I go out there and I'm just high-fiving and it's just super easy. It's a test. It is a test.
It is.
But I'm gonna have to let you guys go, guys. 3 o'clock comes early.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you again, Johnny.
Yeah, thank y'all, and thank you for everybody in the chat and everybody listening. I know a lot of you guys are over there with us on Sasquatch Unredacted. Thanks for the support. Flatrock, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Will do. I'm playing.
I know you say you're not a researcher, but I think you are. But I'll keep your secret. I'll keep your secret for you.
No.
Before Johnny goes,
I really don't. I really don't want to be no researcher. I really don't. I ain't got it up here to be a researcher.
Yeah, I think you do.
He does.
Yeah.
He ain't fooling nobody.
But
before Johnny goes, I want y'all to know we're going to do a part 2 series. We're working on a guest. Me and Flatrock is, and some of you may guess it. We don't know, but we don't care. But we think we've got a good one. We're going to try to get on the show, and Johnny will be back with us on that one also. So I hope y'all get used to Johnny, because this is going to be fun. And Johnny, I want to thank you for doing this with us.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the invite.
Thank you, Johnny.
All right. I'll talk to y'all later on.
See you, buddy.
Later, Johnny.
Bye.
All right, Flatrock.
Yes, sir.
Man, this is one heck of an evening, I'm going to tell you. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It
I
has been fun.
hope I set that video up good enough to explain how things were escalating out here.
You
It
tell-
kind of explains more of what I'm trying to tell people how it was just escalating higher, worse and worse. And so hopefully
Yeah, you kind of freezing up a little bit.
yeah.
Hey, yep, there you go. Now you're back, and that's what I wanted people to see tonight was your thoughts and the anxieties and the things that you went through in the beginning. Because people, when I saw mine, it was not an escalation so much. I mean, it was like 1 week this, 1 week that, 1 week this, 1 week that, and it just got bigger and bigger till I finally saw it. Then it was more, and just like you and Johnny was talking about, once you see one, it's like cocaine. You know,
Yeah.
you got to see more, you got to have more, whatever, you know, or some kind of drug, anyways. And it's not so much that we're crazy and that we're out here being stupid. I'll be the first one, as long as everybody else is in safety, I'm backing out myself. You know, I don't want to hurt them and I don't want them hurting me. You know, that's the way I look at it. And my loved ones or anybody that I'm responsible for, once they're in the clear, then I'll take my foot off the ground, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is. That's the way I believe. You can ask Old Bear that. I will not let him be by himself. No, that is not in me. But anyways, Flatrock, you done everything perfect in the video. We heard sounds that we haven't heard before. There are several audio in there that I just am fascinated about, just to be honest with you. And I'm glad I got to hear it. Anyways, I can't thank you enough. And I really can't thank you enough also for helping me do this series, being a contact for me and everything. So I think people will have a good time listening to these next couple ones that we'll have coming up. I'm hoping we can get them to come up. If I can't, guys, it ain't gonna be the lack of effort. I'll tell you that. All right, but we're gonna get out of here. It is getting late. Thanks again. Anything else you got to say before we get out, buddy?
I'm all good. Yeah.
All right.
Just people who have these things in their yard, I believe sooner or later, the answer's good. A lot of answers are going to be answered. A lot of the questions are going to be answered from the people who actually deal with these creatures, daily, weekly, monthly, whenever they're in the yard, and recordings and video and interactions like Johnny does. I mean, that's a big thing what he does, and Greg House, he's dealing with them, and he gives a lot of good answers to what's going down at his house, and hopefully he'll come on here and tell everybody as well
I think
what goes on.
you done give it away the surprise already, ain't you?
Oh, did I?
Yes. But yeah, I will admit it. We love Greg House. We would love to have him on the show. We're going to try to work on it and see if he would come on and tell some stories. And hopefully, I want him to do the same thing you done. Tell what happened when he first found out about these creatures and what he's had to deal with. And not only with the Bigfoot themselves. I've heard him tell a story about people coming over, so-called researchers or whatever they were, and basically stirred them up and caused more trouble, And I would love to hear stuff like that from Greg if he would love to come on or if he would be gracious enough to. So we're hoping, but if not, guys, we try,
Yeah, I believe that's what happened with us in September, October, as they got stirred up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they did what they did, pushing that tree down so close to my house.
Yeah.
I mean,
a little warning.
I ain't kidding you. I was like, if they'd have pushed it this way,
it'd
have hit my house. That's how close that tree is.
Yeah.
And it's big. It was a big tree.
Do you think that they got accustomed to you, that they don't want you to leave now?
I don't know. I mean, they're not pushing no more. Um, uh, Once they started putting those handprints on my porch, um, uh, a person I look up to told me that it could be a sign of trust. I mean, I can't think of no other reason they would leave their handprints on my porches. Letting a baby one come right up on my deck, right in front of my door. Is it a sign of trust? I believe it could be, but it's hard to tell.
All right, well, think about this, and then we'll get out of here. I've often heard that they do certain things to basically, as my friend O'Bear says, they turn the TV on. They're trying to get a reaction out of you that they're so used to you being there that you are another form of entertainment that breaks up their monotony. You see where I'm going at, and I think they enjoy now you being around just as much as you do them. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah. Now they do come up to the window when my brother was here.
Mm-hmm.
They come up to his window where the TV on his TV was on. That's how the handprint got right where it was. There was actually two handprints there. It was squatted down, looking into my brother's window right there. The one that was looking in the bathroom window back there. I don't know why he was looking in there. I mean, the light was on. Yeah, I was in there. Yeah, but there was no reason for him to be looking in there. You know what I'm saying? Damn perverts.
Oh, I'm not gonna say that because I'm trying to keep the show clean. I'm gonna keep it clean.
No, I mean, look into all the windows you want, but leave the bathroom windows alone. Yeah.
I'm biting my tongue, guys. I'm biting my tongue. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Those that are still left, I appreciate y'all coming in. Natalie, there was somebody else that come in late. Van Edwards, I know I seen him in here. I was glad to see him. Pyromedic, I see you come in, bud. We appreciate you coming. And what was it? Deep South? Am I saying that right? I'm scrolling back up to see. I'm not going to take too much time on this. But we do appreciate you guys. And I know Johnny did too, and Flat Rock. We do appreciate you guys coming in and checking in with us. And if you missed it, you really need to go back and watch the whole thing. It has been one great night with Flat Rock. And like I said, we do this hopefully in an attempt to help people and get Kenny's story or Flat Rock's story out and some others that we hope to get. But anyways, we appreciate y'all coming. Be with us next time. I can't tell you if I'll be on next weekend or the weekend after that, depending on the guest and what time they will be available, if we can get them at all. So till then, we're going to get out of here. Flat Rock, I appreciate it, bud. But
yes, sir.
Well, we're going to skedaddle. All right?
Later, everybody.
All right. Everybody have a good night. Flat Rock, roll tide, brother.
Roll tide.
See you guys.
Beat Oklahoma.